Being joined now in the intermission by our friend Ted Warren with the HockeyWriters.com. He covers the Admirals for the Hockey Writers. And Ted, thanks a lot for dropping by. How are you today?
I'm good, Pete. How are you? Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate
I'm doing well. See that you are dapperly attired with your pink shirt and pink tie. And boy, it's an exciting night. A lot of people wearing pink, and certainly great to see this kind of a crowd here for Admirals hockey.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Your pink is very nice too. This is all for a good cause. The Susan G. Komen Foundation, and it's a big crowd. It's probably close to a sellout here, and very big crowd, and they're going to have some fun watching some hockey.
So Ted, tell me what you've been writing about lately.
I've done a piece on all three goalies' masks. Thiessen, Bobkoff, which is now in Utah, but they're all their masks along with Gibson's mask. And I've also done a piece on the team trying to find its identity.
And certainly that's an interesting point, because here we are. Yesterday, in fact, marked the beginning of the second half of the season, and it really is at this point in a year where teams have to come together. They have to develop their chemistry. They have to, as you say, find their identity. What has Trendiani or any of the players said to you about, what they feel the identity of this team is and what they need to accomplish through the second half of the year?
Oh, well, when it comes to finding their identity, most of the guys I talked to, Exelby, and I talked to Kurtz too. They said that there's definitely a blue collar type of club. They pride themselves on the chances that they don't give up, or defensive zone play, stuff like that. And they find that it's like a work in progress. Trent, he's definitely, this team's identity is probably defensive, net out. So,
do you find that a team's identity often is a reflection of their head coach? Because when I think of Trendiani, I don't think about a whole lot of glitz or flash. I think about, simply nose to the grindstone, kind of that blue collar effort that you talk about.
Yes, of course, it trickles. It trickles from the coach to the veterans, the captain, the assistant captain. Then it makes its way down to the rookies. So it really starts from the coach, and you can definitely see that here.
And as much of an impact as a head coach and assistant coach might have, there's certainly nothing that quite hits home with a player like another player. In your view, what kind of an impact has Garnet Exelby, the Admiral captain, had on this team? As certainly we saw evidence by that big hit, kind of making a statement he laid out right there on Tyler Braun at the end of this opening period tonight.
Oh yeah, captains, they most definitely have to lead by example, and Garnet Exelby does a great job doing that. And the captains really have to be a driving force behind this club, and Garnet Exelby is no different.
Have you found anybody else on this team maybe that has surprised you, or maybe surprised anybody on the club with the way they have stepped up in a leadership role, whether it be on the ice or off the ice in the locker room?
Probably Yonkman. He's one of the other veteran guys. Of course, he's wearing the A. Been around the league a lot. He's he's a leader. Steckel is too. Steckel will tell you some things. And also I'd like to say Zach Stortini. Stortini's very, very, he likes to lead by example.
As good as this Admiral team has been, Ted, the Admirals begin the night 7th in the Eastern Conference, which just goes to show you, I think, how good the conference is this year, and especially how good that East Division is, as it seems to be about every year. Do you feel like this team has played as well as it can? Does it have the makeup to be a playoff team this year after coming so close and missing last season?
Yeah, last year, it left a bad taste in, a couple guys' mouths that I talked to over the summer when I did interviews with them. And, you never want to go in and say that it's a time to, you always need to come and play every night, so it's always a work in progress. It takes time to build on being successful, and it's more than they can do is just come out and try the hardest place and be successful. So.
Ted Warren with the Hockey Writers, our guest here in the intermission. You can go online to thehockeywriters.com and then go to the AHL page, and you'll find Ted's work along with other writers that covered the American Hockey League for the Hockey Writers. You can read what Ted has written throughout the years. So tell me about this story you wrote about the masks of the Admiral goaltenders.
Oh, well, I was kind of inspired by a Facebook post that the Admirals did on Thiesen's mask, his military mask. And I got an idea. I ran it past the Admirals PR guy, Alex Reed. He gave it the okay. So I came down to Scope and I did a story on it. And the story included, the themes behind their mask. Gibson's the Insane Duck Asylum, and Bobkoff, he's in Utah, but he just did a little vintage style duck. And of course, Brad Thiessen, his mask is incredible, and it has it pays tribute to the area with being a big military presence. And it's got a fighter jet on the side. It's got a colonist, because this was the first landing place for. He said it was the first landing place for the colonists, and it also has a battleship on the side. So
was that his idea, or did somebody float it to him? Do you know how the idea came about?
Oh yeah, of course. He was talking with one of the guys from the equipment staff, and he kind of hinted about he needed a new mask or whatever, and the equipment manager said, hey, this is a big military town, so.
Oh, that's interesting. And again, I'm just kind of looking at it right here online. I'm going to have to go online and read that story. I see you just posted it here in the last week or so about the masks of Gibson, Bobkoff, and Thiessen. It's interesting. I had talked with John Gibson early in the year when he first got his newly designed mask. He had been wearing a plain white helmet before that, and in today's day and age, it's almost like you're not any good as a goaltender if you're wearing a plain white helmet. But John said to me, frankly, I really don't care. I'd be content to wear a white mask all year, but seems like everybody has to go and get a fancy paint job done, so I figured I'd have to get one as well.
Yeah, of course, it's here in this day and age with the with the artwork that all these goalies have, and it's incredible that that they can airbrush something on a helmet like that. It's impressive. So
now there's a guy, I believe, in Europe that kind of does a lot of the NHL and AHL players.
Yeah, Dave Art.
Dave Art, and I guess that's his business name is or is that his real name?
Dave. I actually just know the through the site. His company's called Dave Art.
Dave Art. Okay.
Yeah, Dave Art. Yeah.
Well, fascinating story, interesting topic, and Ted, a pleasure as always. Thanks so much for dropping by. We'll do it again later in the year.
Thanks for having me on, Pete. I appreciate it.
All right, Ted Warren with thehockeywriters.com, our special guest. We'll take a timeout. More at the intermission when we come back in a moment right here on the Admirals Hockey Network.
Sports Radio 1490 AM.